I got a haircut, I got a haircut, a haircut is something that I got. Yeah, I finally cut off all of the blonde hair, went to the barber, said just cut it all off. Thought it was time to get rid of it, you know, time to get back to the natural brown hair, go a bit short. What do you think? Do you like it? I quite like it. I quite like it. So, yeah, I got a haircut. But that's not the point of this video, so why don't we get into, you know, the actual video and stop talking about hair. So as I'm sure you know, I went to Summer in the City a couple of weeks ago, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have a good time. I've seen a lot of tweets and stuff from people saying like, oh my god, Summer in the City was amazing, loved it, but for me it just wasn't, and I'm gonna tell you why in this video. The main thing that made it so bad for me was the fangirls. So many fangirls. Seriously, if you're a YouTube fangirl and you're watching this, you're a f***ing idiot, okay? Get that through your head. There's nothing wrong with liking YouTubers and being excited to meet them. I wouldn't have gone to Summer in the City if I didn't feel the same way. But these mindless dumbasses who scream, shout, push people out the way as soon as their favourite YouTuber walks into the room, you have issues, okay? You have mental issues. They make videos on the internet. That is all they do. They're not famous, they're not some incredible role model, they have a camera and they make videos on the internet. That is it. At one point, I was sat in the main room and Jack and Finn, or Jack's Gap, walked in. Straight away, around 300 girls just ran at them, screaming and surrounding them. Once everyone had finally shut up, they told them to sit down. And what did they do? They sat down. What are you, dogs? No, you are human beings, okay? When someone who makes YouTube videos tells you to sit on the floor, you don't have to, okay? You have a brain that is capable of conjuring up its own thoughts. I just don't get it. I don't get why these people think screaming at their favourite YouTubers, running at them in a mob and trampling them is going to do them any good. It's just going to scare them, probably end up injuring them, and then forcing them into their own private room, meaning you can't meet them, which is the opposite of what you want. The second thing that kind of sucked was the venue. And I can understand why they wanted to try a venue. It was the biggest Summer in the City yet, and they wanted a way to like keep everyone together and keep everyone contained, but it just didn't work. The venue was set up in a weird way that meant half the time you had no idea where you were, and because everything was covered in fluorescent lights and scattered everywhere, you had no idea where anyone else was. I walked around the entire place around 10 times, and every time I walked into a room, there were different people in there. Surely it would have been better to create a schedule with panels and areas where certain YouTubers were at certain times, so if you wanted to meet them, you went there. Instead, you had to walk around aimlessly, hoping you would catch sight of someone you wanted to get a picture with and hope they weren't being mobbed by fangirls, which they probably were. In the whole time I was there, I got pictures with two people. I got a picture with Tom Scar, which I was really happy about, and I also got a picture with CourtFtw. This was because 1, I had no idea where anyone was, and 2, if I ever did see anyone, they were surrounded by screaming 12-year-old girls. Another thing was the rooms. Don't get me wrong, I know YouTubers are supposed to be quirky, but what was going on? A dark room full of fluorescent lights where they were playing the Macarena. What are we, 12? Seriously, cut the act and grow up a bit. If you're into that, fair enough, but I thought it was kinda lame. The entire venue and the security was just a load of shit, in my opinion. If you stopped for a minute to decide what you wanted to do, the security would be right behind you, ushering you away, going, keep moving, you can't stop. Really? Really? I mean, f*** me. I can't even stop for a second to actually decide what I want to do. Plus, if you wanted to step outside for a while to go and get some food or a drink, you were then forced to queue up again. Why weren't you just able to get some sort of ID and then be allowed back in? Oh, I know why. Because you want to keep us trapped in here for 8 hours, where it's really, really hot, so we then have to buy your overpriced drinks. Smart move. Speaking of the queues, whilst we were queuing up, we saw quite a lot of big YouTubers just walk straight past the queues and just walk right in. Really? Is that really what it's come to now? The fans forced to queue up outside whilst the YouTubers can just walk straight in? Just because they have more subscribers than us, it doesn't mean they're any better than us. I don't understand why they couldn't have just queued up like everybody else. In the time they would have been queuing up, they could have gone through quite a lot of pictures and signings, reducing the amount of crazed fangirls that would have been inside. you know, I'm just saying. I just felt from seeing them at Summer in a City and the way they acted and stuff, that about 75% of YouTubers now just make videos for the views and money and so-called fame. I mean, I've been making videos for almost 2 years and I haven't earned a single penny off of YouTube. Why? Because I make videos because I enjoy making videos. And these big YouTubers don't even seem to care about their audience and their viewers anymore. I mean, when I see that I've gotten a new subscriber, honestly, it is the best feeling in the world for me. But they probably don't even realise anymore, or they just don't give a shit. I had 16 people come up to me at Summer in the City that recognised me and asked for pictures and autographs and stuff. Now that may not sound like a lot to you, but that meant the world to me. Honestly, thank you so much to the people who came up to me. You guys were about the only thing that made my whole day worthwhile, so thanks for that. I mean, I'm only a tiny YouTuber, so I was pretty happy with 16. But every person that came up to me, I spoke to them, asked them how their day was, you know, I actually treated them like a human being. Most of the big YouTubers just treated them like a fan, you know, just signed their notepad, took a picture, and then basically told them to f*** off. And I just don't get where these people think they have the right to do that. I mean, there would be nothing without these people liking their videos, commenting on them, sharing them. So the least they could do when they meet them is actually show them a bit of respect. This whole time, Summer in the City and YouTube had been hyped up as a place where we would all be equal. It didn't matter how many subscribers you had or how popular you were. All it mattered is that we were all together and we were all into the same thing. Instead, we ended up with a load of annoying, retarded fangirls, a load of pretentious, stuck-up YouTubers who wanted to feel famous for a day, and a few normal people. Like me. But anyway, that's my honest opinion on Summer in the City. If you went, or you've been to any other YouTube gatherings, let me know what your experience was like in the comments below. I'm really interested to see what other people make of it all. And if you thought I spoke any sense in this entire video, please do give it a big thumbs up down below. It really helps me out. If you're feeling extra generous, maybe we can share it on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr. See if we can get a more honest opinion of Summer in the City out there, instead of, you know, the normal fangirl response. And just quickly, talking of thumbs up and sharing and all that, lately I've been feeling a bit unmotivated to make YouTube videos, and I actually wrote a twit longer about it. So if you have a spare 5 minutes, please do read that, I'd really appreciate it. That'll be in the description below. And that's about it. I will see you soon. End screen.